Welcome back. You're watching the Press Club. I'm Kendall Burton. My guest this evening is Corporal Zachary
Okay.
Okay. And I told you no takes, eh? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the Press Club with me, Kendall Burton. My guest this evening, Corporal Zachary Hippolyte of the Police Press Relations Office. Before the break, we were talking about public perception of policing and crime fighting generally. I referenced the Prime Minister's speech from the article in the Star talking about a 70% lack of confidence or satisfaction in the performance of the police force, as opposed to an 80% across the United States describing themselves as supportive or very supportive of the law enforcement community. I'm reading from a research survey that was done. Approximately the same number feel safer when they see a law enforcement officer nearby, compared to only 11% who do not feel safer in an officer's presence. It goes on to say, across the United States, officers across the United States have greatly overestimated the ability of the media to influence public opinion of policing. It also goes on to talk about the internal influence on law enforcement, which is what my concern is about with this impacts report and some of the statements made in that article and by Mr. Rick Wayne on his show over the last couple of weeks about creating division within the police force. It says this negative way the law enforcement community believes the public perceives it is reinforced not only by the public and the media, but often by senior officers as well. At police academies, at the station, in training and in the lunchroom, biased media coverage only confirms what they already knew from years of police work and shared stories in the squad room. It goes on to paint a bit of a disturbing picture, but if you'll allow me, I want to continue reading.
Sure, no problem.
Are there consequences to police officers believing that the public distrusts them? What happens if police administrators come to take for granted a culture of negativity? And I want you to ponder on those questions because I want a response from you on them. As a police officer, can negative attitudes about and expectations of groups turn misrepresentations or misperceptions into reality? The risk to police and police departments is that prolonged negative feelings can become self-fulfilling. And that's a concern I've expressed on this show before. And here you have this research also asking the same question. Can the risk to police departments is that prolonged negative feeling can become self-fulfilling. An untrusted, unappreciated department can come to find itself at odds with a public it perceives as ungrateful, self-entitled, uncooperative, or worse, stupid. This potentially dangerous situation not only can give rise to demeanor complaints against officers, but can raise the stakes to the possibility of violence between officers and the public. A lot of questions thrown out there.
A lot of questions thrown out there, but it is generally encompassing a certain theme. Kendall, in this little country of ours, definitely if we believe that the public is not satisfied or is not appreciative of us, it can affect us. Because who are the police? Who are the police? The police are the public. We come from
the society.
We are part of the citizenry. There's this misconception that it's them, the police, and it's them, the citizenry. But who are our wives? Who are our children? Who are our fathers, our parents? It's the public. So if there is an overall perception that the public does not trust us, the public is not happy with us, the public believes we're corrupt, the public believes we're murderers.
Yeah, but not just the public in this case. You have a prime minister who has said, and has been quoted in international media saying the police are corrupt, the police are incompetent.
The prime minister and any other elective official is entitled to their opinion. He's entitled to their opinion.
Yeah, except is this so much an opinion when he's quoting an investigation, a report from an investigation into extrajudicial police killings that says, yes, the police officers planted guns. Yes, the police created these scenarios under which people were killed. You know, so the public now is not just the media in this case. The media is quoting an elected official, the head of the country, the leader of the country, quoting from a report done by the Jamaican Constabulary Force. And yes, it's allegations, but it's also affecting the perception. And here you have these cases or stories of division within the police force. You have a Police Welfare Association coming out and making statements. The acting police commissioner forced to respond.
And though it has been quoted, and though all what has been said, and this is why I love my police officers, our police officers, we still continue to work. We still continue to work, Kendall. Because if that was not the case, last night's Talfest show would not be so successful. The upcoming Junior Curl activities would have to be postponed. All the Friday night activities that happen every Friday, where so many millions of visitors come through Gurzali and enjoy themselves, would not happen.
Yeah, but some people might argue very well, like, you go in through the motions. You know, you go to work, you report for work, but you're not doing it with the zeal that, you know, ideally you would like to see a police officer with the sort of passion and dedication to your career that you talked about earlier at the beginning of the show. You know,
Kendall, we are human.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we are human. And this is why I try to put the nexus with being we're part of the public. Because a police officer, yes, would have all this passion, but then certain pronouncements that have been said in the media or by our leaders would affect his wife, would affect his child. When he goes home, despite having all this passion, when he goes home, Daddy, you hear what was said? Oh, honey, I don't understand why is it that this is being said about your organization and you're a part of it.
Here you have a story, reportedly about a conversation between the acting police commissioner and a senior officer.
Reportedly.
Where there's and I'm choosing my words very carefully. There are suggestions. I'm quoting here. These guys are accusing you of doing things along with counterparts. These are dangerous waters you tread. Right, suggesting that that person might be targeted by other police officers. That is not going to create a very good perception of the police force among the public.
It's not going to create a good perception of the police force among the public. What percentage of the public?
All of the public.
I
am concerned.
How can we prove that?
I am concerned.
How can we prove that?
But here's the question to you too. You were talking about the overarching public relations function in the police force. Here's an opportunity for us to that is lacking, seriously lacking, because you are as divided and fragmented as the opposition UWP appears to be, you know, and it's doing a serious job of undermining public confidence.
It may be doing a serious job of undermining confidence until the next headline story comes along.
You think so?
Yes, Kendall, I really believe so. And this is the society that we live in. One day you could be a hero, tomorrow you could be a villain, and that is just human nature. What we need to do as a police force is, despite all this perceived negativity or perceived division or perceived fallout, we need to remember our main objective,
which is
to maintain law and order in St. Lucia. And this is where the police officers, we could be considered superhuman beings. Because despite all this, Kendall, and I'm not going to sit here and be naive or pretend that as human beings, this type of perceptions, this type of stories will not have some form of effect on particular individual officers. But everyone, this is the same human beings we're talking about, see things differently, allow different things to affect them differently. But there's one thing that remains. We all, when we got sworn in, knew what we were signing up to do. And that is to maintain law and order. That is to help the vulnerable. That is to pursue offenders. That is to fight crime. You see, when it comes to impacts, we need to allow the high-level officials to deal with that. We need to allow the legal teams and our executive and everyone to deal with that. But my job as a police officer, I need to know that how many years ago, when I had to go through the experience of seeing my youth leader ripped and killed, that is my main reason for being in this uniform. To serve, to protect, to maintain law and order in St. Lucia.
Okay, we're out of time, but I want you, before you go, to talk about police press relations moving forward. Where do you see it? Where do you want it to go? And what are we doing to get to that goal?
Well, moving forward, like I said, I want the press office to evolve into a public relations giant, into one that we could concentrate on different fields, different aspects, different issues of society, from community relations to statistics of crime, to letting persons knows about the laws, to every aspect of society. We need a team to do that. We need a team to do that. One day I would like to see press officers giving lectures out in the open to a group of students by the boulevard. Okay, speaking about what we're supposed to do as citizens, speaking about law and order. It's not just about us going to the schools. We need to branch out. We need to go out and meet society. Okay, and in my opinion, by doing this, we can counter all this negative perception, negativity and negative perception of the police force. We need to go out there, Kendall. We need to understand that the public and the police, we're not that different, because at the end of the day, we're all in it. Whatever actions our leaders, or whatever decisions our leaders take tomorrow, it doesn't just affect the public, the citizenry. It affects the police, because we are the public. We're part of it. So I'm so happy, Kendall, for getting the opportunity to be here on Press Club. Yes, going forward, there will always be challenges, and you could never get it right. You know why? Because you're dealing with human beings, the most complex creature on earth, Kendall. I have seen individuals who have hailed me a hero this weekend, and by next weekend they want to hail me a zero, just because I didn't agree with a particular point that they made. But that's okay, because as long as we as an organization, the police force, as long as we remember and put in the forefront the reason why we're here, then all else will be secondary.
Corporal Zachary Hippolyte, thank you very much for being here.
No problem, buddy.
Thank you for, well, the time flew by very quickly.
Yes, I can't believe it.
I wish we had more
it
time.
It should be Press Club 2 hours.
Yeah, well,
or part 2. Invite me again.
Definitely. I hold you to that.
Yeah.
You made it on public television.
Yes,
so
no
we'll have you
problem.
back. We can discuss some of the other issues that we didn't get to this time around. Thank you for being here, and thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next week. Hopefully, Earl Bousquet will be back, and hopefully we'll have some other members of the media sitting here talking about issues in the news. We'll see you next week.